My boyfriend begged me to open our relationship so he could sleep with other women. Months later, when I finally did the same, he suddenly wanted us to be monogamous again. I grew up in a town where privacy was a myth, the kind of place where you bump into your teacher at the grocery store, and 3 hours later, your mom knows what kind of cereal you bought. A town so small, your last name meant more than your first. And in my case, my last name meant Catholic. The no makeup before 16, no dating before marriage, and absolutely no sex ever kind of Catholic. So when I left for college at 18, landing in the city felt like being dropped onto another planet. It was noisy, wild, full of strangers, full of color. I had no curfews, no confessions, no expectations weighing me down. It was terrifying and thrilling. For the first time, I got to decide who I was without my parents' rules breathing down my neck. And that's when I met him. He was everything I wasn't: confident, funny, a little reckless, and so self assured it was magnetic. He was 24 then, 3 years older than me, a part time photographer with a vintage camera always slung across his shoulder, and a way of talking that made the world feel like it had layers I'd never noticed. The first time he touched my hand, it felt like static and sunlight and falling all at once. We started dating a few months into my first year, and it was perfect. He was perfect. The first man I ever kissed, ever slept with, ever said, "I love you" to. I gave him everything, every first I had. I trusted him more than anyone. I imagined white dresses, little brown eyed babies, Sunday mornings together reading books and sharing tea. For 3.5 years, he was my everything. Then, about 8 months ago, everything changed. He sat me down at my place, hands nervously interlocked, and said, "I feel like we've lost something." My heart dropped so fast it felt like the floor gave out under me. He continued, "I love you. I do. But something's missing. I think we've become too comfortable, too predictable." I remember thinking he was going to leave me. I was preparing to cry, to beg, to fall apart. But then he said, "I think we should open the relationship." I didn't even know what to say. Open? As in, let other people in? Let him sleep with other people? He framed it like it was growth, like it was mature and enlightened. "It's more normal now," he said. "Polyamory is healthy. It helps people find new sparks. Maybe it'll help us appreciate each other more." I wanted to scream. I wanted to say no, but I couldn't because I loved him, because I didn't know who I was without him. So I nodded, I smiled, and I agreed. He was giddy, even relieved. He talked about rules: no bringing people into our spaces, no emotional attachments, no drama. "It'll just be fun," he said. But it wasn't fun. For the first few weeks, I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. My imagination tortured me. Him kissing someone else, undressing someone else, laughing with someone else. I checked his Instagram obsessively, and there she was, a new girl, always in his stories, laughing, posing. Once I saw his hand in her photo, the ring I gave him for his birthday on his finger, clutching a wine glass next to hers. When I confronted him, he brushed it off. "She's just a friend," he said, with a grin too casual to be true. I didn't push it. I didn't want to be that girlfriend, the insecure, possessive one he probably warned her about. Meanwhile, I stayed loyal. I couldn't even think about being with someone else. I still planned our dates, texted first, waited up late just to hear about his night. I tried to be understanding, supportive, evolved, but the more freedom he had, the less space I seemed to occupy in his world. Then something strange happened. A few months in, after he bailed on one of our date nights, again, I decided to go to the movie anyway. Nosferatu, an old black and white vampire film, very on brand for me, since I'd grown weirdly fond of vintage horror films thanks to him. I went alone, bought popcorn, and sat near the back. Halfway through the film, someone sat next to me, my friend Emily with her older brother. I'd met him maybe twice before. Quiet, handsome, a little broody in that artsy kind of way. After the movie, we all got drinks. He made me laugh, really laugh, for the first time in months. I forgot, for one whole night, that I was the girl left behind. He followed me on Instagram the next day. We started chatting. I told him about the open relationship, fully expecting him to ghost me. Instead, he said, "I think it's kind of cool you're exploring what you want." He never made a move, never crossed a line. We talked books, movies, photography. He shared music with me, asked about my thesis, sent me encouragement before my finals. And slowly, something in me started to shift. I started to feel seen. We hung out more, went to the gym, grabbed dinner. No pressure, no pretense. And then one day, he kissed me. Just once, soft and unsure. I felt a flicker in my chest, a kind of warmth I hadn't felt in months. And a few nights later, we slept together. It wasn't fireworks. It was intimacy. He made me feel wanted, like every inch of me mattered. He didn't rush, didn't treat me like a body. He asked questions, listened to my answers. I cried afterward, not because I felt guilty, but because I realized just how neglected I had been. I started feeling whole again. For the first time in months, I didn't feel like a placeholder in someone else's story. I felt central, important, desired. And then, this week, my boyfriend called me over. We sat on my couch. He held my hand like he used to. "I've been thinking," he said, "we should close the relationship." I blinked. "Why?" He smiled. "I think we've had our fun, but it's time to build something real. You're Catholic, you get it. Marriage, monogamy, the future. We can't do that if we're seeing other people." And just like that, he tried to close the door he opened. I didn't say yes. I just stared at him. Everything in me felt twisted. The months I spent feeling abandoned, unworthy. The nights I cried myself to sleep. The way he made me feel guilty for wanting what he asked for. Now that I found someone who makes me feel safe, loved, and cherished, he wants to take that away. And worse, he framed it like I'm the problem. "You've changed," he said when I hesitated. "You're not the same girl I fell in love with." Maybe I'm not. Maybe that girl died the night he told me I wasn't enough anymore. So no, I don't know what to do. I still love him. I always will, but love isn't enough when respect is missing, when choices are made for you, not with you. When someone walks away and expects you to wait at the door. I didn't ask for any of this, but I found peace. I found love. I found me. Now the question is, do I go back to the person who shattered me? Or do I stay with the one who helped me pick up the pieces?